Today we're going to refresh a little bit of slope from what you did on Monday and add a little bit more looking at slope from a table today. So don't forget that slope is the steepness of a line. And there are 4 different types of slopes. So remember, we read a graph from left to right. If my slope increases from left to right, it's called a positive slope. If I look at my graph from left to right and it decreases, it's called a negative slope. If I just have a vertical line, that is called an undefined slope. And a horizontal line is called a zero slope. Okay. So we looked at graphs Monday, and I refreshed on how to find the slope if you're given a graph. Remember, the letter to represent slope is M. When you're looking at it from a graph, you look at it as your rise over your run, or your change in Y over your change in X. Remember, your rise, your Y-axis, either goes up or you could go down. If you go up, it's positive. If you go down, it's negative. Your run or your change in Y goes left to right. Remember, if you go left on the x-axis, it's negative. If you go right on the x-axis, it's positive. The very last thing we looked at on Monday is finding the slope if you're given 2 points. And we use that slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Don't forget, this is if you're given 2 points. Remember, an ordered pair is x and then y. If I'm given 2 points, I have 2 x's and 2 y's. I call the first one x1, y1, and I call the second one x2, y2. And that helps me figure out what numbers go in place for my formula when I'm given 2 points. All right, we're going to go a little bit further and look at it from a table today. Oh. All right, so find the slope from a table. It's very similar to using 2 points. These are all points. These are all sets of ordered pairs. So 2, 7 is an ordered pair, 4, 9 is an ordered pair, 6, 11, 8, 13, and 10, 15. So just consider these as a bunch of ordered pairs. You need to pick 2. It doesn't matter what 2 you pick. Okay, you could use the first 2. You could use the last 2. You're going to get the same answer no matter what. I'm going to use the first 2. So remember, the first one is my x1, y1. The second one is my x2, y2. Use your formula. y2, and I'll write it down every time until I really learn it. y2, my second y value is 9, minus y1, my first y value is 7. x2, my second x value is 4. x1, my first x value is 2. 9 minus 7 is 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2, I always put my fraction or my slope in simplest form, and if I can fully reduce it, do. So my slope is 1, positive 1. All right, rate of change. I think this one, let me check really quick. So my m equals 1. Remember, your slope, your m, your rate of change, your change in y over change in x, it all means the same thing. All right, 8. I'm going to pick 2 points. It doesn't matter what 2 points you pick. I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to use this one. So I'm using the point 0, 1 and 2, 5. You just have to have 2 points. Any 2 points will work as long as you do your math correctly. Remember, your first one is x1, y1. Your second one is x2, y2. So I want to do y2 minus y1 over x2, or divided by x2 minus x1. My second y value is 5. My first y value is 1. Divided by my second x value is 2 minus my first x value is 0. 5 minus 1 is 4. 2 minus 0 is 2. If I divide that, it turns into 2. So my rate of change, my slope, my m, equals positive 2. All right, let's see. What should I pick on this next one? I'm going to use the first one and the third one. Remember, it doesn't matter what 2 points you pick. Any 2 to plug into your formula, as long as you plug it in correctly and label correctly. Your first point is your x1, y1. Your second is your x2, y2. So my change in y over change in x, or you could write it as delta y, the triangle y, over delta x. Delta is just a triangle. So y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Y2 is 6, my second y is 2, my first y is 6. My second x is 4, minus my first x is negative 4. All right, so 2 minus 6 is what? Negative 4? 4 minus negative 8, that double negative becomes a positive. 4 plus 4 ends up equaling 8. So negative 4 over 8, if I check, and you can check that in your calculator, y'all. If you don't know, put it in your calculator as a fraction. Negative 4 in the numerator, 8 in the denominator. It'll reduce it for you if you're unsure. It reduces it to negative 1/2. So my slope is a negative 1/2, or my rate of change, or my change in y over change in x. All right, we're going to do 3 more. Yeah, 3 more together. Let's look at 10. So my slope, my m, I'm going to pick 2 points. It doesn't matter. I'm going to use the first 2. You notice anything on this one? As you're looking at the table, you may notice something, and we'll see if that correlates to something at the end. So y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. 2 minus 2 is 0. 3 minus 6 is negative 3. 0 divided by anything is 0. So this is a 0 slope. You may have realized all of my y's are the same. If all of my y's are the same, when I subtract them from each other, I'm always going to be left with 0 in the numerator, which will give me a 0 slope. All right, 12. Find the slope of that. All right. I'm going to use the first 2 again. See if you notice anything as we're writing this down, because you may. Remember, your first point is x1, y1. Your second point is x2, y2. So if I do my slope, my second y value minus my first y value, divided by my second x value minus my first x value. So 4 minus 6 is negative 2. 3 minus 3 is 0. Whenever I have 0 in the denominator, you can try it on your calculator, but let me show you what's going to happen. If you try it on your calculator, negative 2 divided by 0, it gives you an error. It says divide by 0. You cannot divide by 0. So that is called an undefined slope. And you may have realized that all of your x's are the same. So if all of your x's are the same, when you go ahead and to subtract 2 of them, you're always going to get 0 in the denominator, which will always leave you with a slope that is undefined. All right, last one. Which table has a rate of change equal to 4? So I want to look at all these tables. One of them has a rate of change equal to 4. So I got to kind of process of eliminate here. I'm going to use the first one. Try the first one out. If that doesn't work, then we'll see. So the first one, I got negative 3, negative 12, and negative 1, negative 4. So x1, y1, x2, y2. The second y value is negative 4 minus the first y value is negative 12. Divided by the second x value is negative 1 minus the first x value. I'm going to show you how you could use your calculator for the whole thing. So you literally could just put this whole entire thing in the calculator the way you see it. So if you make your fraction, negative 4 minus negative 12 is in the numerator. In the denominator is negative 1 minus negative 3. And I get 4. Well, the question was asking which one has a rate of change equal to 4. It actually is the first one. I'm not always a huge fan of when my answer is the first one, so you very well could check 2 points here, 2 points here, and 2 points here to just double check and make sure that they don't equal 4. This does not say choose all that apply, or it does not say which tables, so it's not plural, so there can't be more than one. So we do have the right one, but you always want to make sure you double check everything. All right, so you go ahead and check to see what you have to do for the rest of the day.